Causmic.
All right, so now I'm glad we're starting the new episode. And I know I missed last week. Couldn't get anybody on, to be honest. So thank you guys for being patient and thank you guys for being here. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I'm proud to announce I got some newcomers to my show. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce you guys and ask you guys what you guys are playing. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Six Layer first. What's up, man? It's been a while since we last talked. I think we last talked on the Kim Mega's show.
Yeah, like maybe 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how you been, man? You been playing anything new?
Yeah, but I was playing the Call of Duty beta over the weekend. I'm liking it. It's better than the alpha was. It's a marked improvement. You can see there's still some ways to go development-wise. You can see the progression. It's still not there, of course. It's just a beta, but I feel like they're a little behind schedule where they should be at this point. There are some nagging like bugs and issues. I feel. I've never experienced in Call of Duty beta before. I get the feeling like they're a little behind schedule.
Yeah. Hopefully they get back on track. But
yeah,
with this COVID thing, you never really know because
exactly.
It's got a lot of people tied up. But what can you do? It's just life. We all have to keep moving on.
Yep.
Well, what's up, Red Hood? It's good to have you on my show, and it's good to finally just talk to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like hella hectic, busy, and all that stuff, especially at work and all that.
I know you were telling me about your work schedule a few days ago. How hectic it was.
I mean, it was Prime Day, so definitely was hectic. So,
what's up, man? Have you been playing any new video games?
No. I mean, well, actually, no. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3.
I mean, any games that you got started on, like just like recently played.
Recently played was like Baldur's Gate 3. That's in early access. Been enjoying that.
That sounds
I
great.
can't. Oh yeah. You could tell like some of the stuff needs to be worked on and stuff like that. Like especially with some of the dragon fire effects, but that'll definitely be fixed in the finished product once it comes out early access. But it's overall very fun RPG D&D type of game. So, and then I've been playing Persona 4 Golden as well on PC.
I saw you streaming that on Twitch.
Oh yeah, big Persona fan, SMT fan, all around big Atlas fan. So
I missed out on the Persona franchise. So I've been meaning to get into it. I don't know if I should should I get started with Persona 4 Golden or just start with Persona 5? Or does it matter?
It really doesn't matter. They'll give you some references to the earlier, entries and stuff like that, a little like nod, but it's not like a huge connection. It's like its own, entry title, unless you're playing like the arena games, and then they'll, then you got to kind of know some of the stuff, especially the characters and all that through, usually it's like Persona 3 and 4. So they'll definitely in P5 Arena have all the characters from 3, 4, and 5. I doubt 1 and 2. Because I don't know, they never really like talk about those games that much. Even though I consider P2 probably the best out of the bunch, just in personal taste, of course.
Oh, so you're a hardcore Persona fan then? All right.
Oh yeah.
All right, but I just want to say to everyone who's watching right now and who will be watching in the future once this live stream is uploaded, that Big Cloud is gonna be fashionably late. So hopefully he hops on soon. If not, then oh well. But I messaged him, so hopefully. But yeah. So what do you guys think? We should get into the topics now.
Sounds like a plan.
Sure. All right. So the first topic I just wanted to get over with is just the PlayStation UI. To be honest, it's just something that never really fully interested me to just like talk about. It's just new news, so of course we have to talk about it, But to me, the UI is clean. It looks like a big improvement over the PS4 UI, and it has a lot of quality of life improvements. Just like the snap feature, you can move like your picture around, like whatever you want, like for the trophies. How he was moving it around the screen, and I think that's very helpful. But I was talking about the tips earlier, but I'll get into that in a little bit. And also, of course, they have the share feature where you can share your gameplay with other people, and this time you don't have to exit out your own game to watch them play, which I think is pretty helpful. And they also have, I think the other thing they showed was some of the new feature where you can switch into a game from one of your friends' parties, I believe. Go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong there, but yeah, that's about all that I took away from the show that interested me. I mean, they also had, I believe they had 4K recording too for pictures and video editing, video recording. But other than that, that's just what interested me. I want to get your guys' thoughts on the PS4 UI showcase and everything they showed off and talked about. So I'll start off with you, Sick, and then I'll go to Red Hood.
All right. Well, my concern from last generation when both Xbox and PlayStation redid their UI, so they started from ground level all over again and had to re-implement all the features that they spent all generation, mastering. Like party chat wasn't a thing in the beginning of the 360 PS3 era. That was something that came along halfway through. So, by the end of the generation, both of the dashboards were pretty mature feature-wise, and having to start over, you lost a lot of those features, or even if they were implemented again, they weren't implemented the same way. The example I always give, at least with the Xbox, was while you still have custom music on the Xbox One, but it wouldn't silence the tracks, during a cutscene in the game, or switch the tracks during, the track switching points in a game, when the music tracks would switch. It would just keep playing your playlist like it was an MP3 player just playing in the background. It wasn't integrated in the game when they redid the dashboard on the Xbox. The PlayStation was very similar. But this time it looks like they really did re-implement all the features they had before, seemingly just as good as they did on the PS4, while adding a bunch of, features that, everybody's talking about how we've seen these features on the Xbox One and there was all that blah, blah, blah. But, those features are there and, thus validating those features. And the dashboard seems to be, nice, clean, effective. It's what you want from the dashboard,
Yeah.
That's more important than a resolution or anything, which was also another thing. But an effective dashboard that works, that stays out of its way when you don't want it to be in your way. And when you need to, to give you some quick information, it could do it quickly and effectively. And it seems like it's going to be able to do just that.
Yeah, like I said, it's just like a quality of life improvements from what they had with the PS4 UI. Just a lot of great improvements overall. And I just want to say, what's up, K-Mega? Thanks for stopping by, man. And
hey, what's up, big guy?
And also, what's up, Big Cloud? I see you just hopped in the Discord. So, what's up?
You.
I'm gonna get your introduction out of the way real quick, and then I'm gonna get to Red Hood. But what's up, man? How's your day been? And have you played any new games recently, or gotten started on anything?
Wait, a fraud's gonna ask me, do I play games? Nah, I'll play. No, I've been busy, man, to even fire up my PS4, so nothing new aside from Rogue.
Yeah. I didn't get to catch the rest of your stream for the Rogue company stream. Who went out of that bet? Who went out of that bet?
I did.
Oh, nice for you. So now he has.
So it's no longer Big Cloud Gaming; it's God Cloud Gaming.
Oh my god! I can't believe you actually did that. I can't believe you actually made that bet. But, good for you, man. Good for you. But, all right, Red Hood. Let's get your thoughts on the UI. What did you think about the video and everything that shut off?
Yeah, I saw it during work on my break, and I was watching and stuff like that. The big takeaway for me, even though my main platform is PC, I went from PS4 to then PC and stuff like that. But from my time on PS4, I would say my biggest complaint was, of course, the PlayStation Store being a separate app. And anytime you're trying to move or stuff like that, there's a slight delay. Not even a delay. Sometimes, it would freeze up or anything like that. And that's the biggest problem I had with the PS Store. But it now being integrated into the UI, baked into it, seems like it alleviates all those problems and stuff like that. So it's more of a fluid experience, I would say. And overall, interesting things with the whole was it the achievements / trophies and stuff like that, potentially getting avatars as well as themes and all that stuff as well. I know they did this with a couple games like Spider-Man and Persona, but having that option and not having to pay for it, just actually achieving it through the game is actually pretty cool. But overall, I think it was a natural progression. Being able to not have to get out of the game, get into the party chat and stuff like that is like a really cool thing to do, more seamless and all that stuff, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're talking about with how slow the PS4 UI can be when you get out of the store and back into the UI. Oh my god, it sometimes it actually crashed on me a few times.
Oh yeah. That was like the biggest issue I had when my main platform was PS4, and just having to deal with that headache. Granted, it was a step above PS3, but even then, it's still, that was one of the major issues and all that for me.
And I'm just glad that it's much faster and more responsive too. But let's get your thoughts on this BitCloud. I know you talked about this on Friday, but go ahead and just give us your thoughts.
Yeah, it's a much needed improvement over the last one, that's for sure. It's much more faster, which I appreciate. I do like the fact that they're trying to aim more at casuals this time around to get them more active on PSN. So, those who are not aggressive going against achievements or challenging themselves, they now have a system in play where you can actually do more. And you already know they upgraded the whole account system now, so you have like the new level system. So they're pretty much trying to build more on that, which is cool. I like that. I'm glad they fixed the what was it, the share screen feature, so it doesn't interrupt your game now. I do like that. About time they did that. There is one thing they don't have though, and I'm a little, well, they haven't confirmed it yet, but because they didn't go into the store, but I'm wondering if gifting is an option in the future. So
it
that'd
better
cool.
be, man. That's something
Yeah.
I could have used in the next couple of weeks. There, I promised my friend I'd get him Call of Duty for his birthday, and I had to go looking. How do you gift the game? So I guess I just have to buy some credit, send him the credit, have him buy him the game himself. But it would be easier if I can just say, hey, I want to buy this game. It's a gift. Send it to this account. That would be great.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are going to be picky as hell in the future with these games, especially with them going up to $70.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yes.
So you're not gonna see everybody going, "Oh yeah, the next Cyberpunk, I'm willing to pay $70 for that." No,
Yeah,
you're gonna see a lot of people picky.
You're probably gonna see a lot of people be like, "Oh fuck, $70. Okay, I'm gonna wait for a sale."
Oh yeah,
I feel like the casuals won't really care as much because they don't really, buy any other games. So they're going to be more along the lines of Madden, the sports games and the racers, and that's about it.
Yeah,
So
probably COD and like other shooter games too, but that'll be it.
yeah. COD's like the only one I could see a casual legit buying, crazy shit on. But the thing is, though, and this kind of sets us up for some bad shit in the future. Are we still paying for incomplete games? See what I'm saying? Like, do we still have season passes to look out for?
of course.
Why
wouldn't there be?
Yeah, exactly. Like these systems are more powerful, and there's more ways to buy and purchase and everything else. So why would they stop that now? No.
Yeah, that's the part, because remember they gave you as much, like especially with these bigger titles now, they're giving you so less for $60.
Exactly. When
Now
you look
imagine
at
that same behavior going up to $70, and then it's another $20 for DLC with a season pass. Then they get into the season shit where it's like, oh, this is season 5, Here's another $20 for another season. You know what I'm saying? Just to get you more and more in it. It's like, at that point in time, it's like, okay, well, shit. The dude saying, oh, y'all being cheap. Nah.
yeah,
Y'all being
and if you
clean
notice,
at
and
this
if you
point.
notice the first publishers, to join in on that, the same old usual suspects, as I like to say on the subject, Activision, Take-Two, the first ones, their game's gonna be $70. What was it? 2K is, and so is Call of Duty. Like you're not even surprised to see, these two publishers are the first two to embrace this. Like, of course.
They were the first.
Yeah,
2K and
that's true.
Activision were the first ones to embrace it.
Yeah, it was Activision, and I think 2K was right after that.
All over.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
EA hasn't announced any $70 games yet.
Because they don't have any games coming out yet currently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's that,
Ubisoft's
yeah.
about to do it too, Kelly. Like they said, all their games launching in the fall are going to be 60, but they didn't say shit after that. So you expect that $70 increase for
Oh.
theirs too.
Although, isn't Ubisoft also doing like a subscription service for their games?
yeah, they
Uh-huh.
have Uplay Plus.
They got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I said they got like a plan B type of thing they're gonna try to push with it. But yeah, they're gonna do that. Best believe it.
I feel like there's gonna be a lot of
I wouldn't be
companies.
surprised if Uplay Plus joins Game Pass in the future.
Either way, just like the streaming services, these guys are gonna get their money one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you see what they did with Call of Duty when they first got that. Everybody was mad about how they're monetizing the game, and they were like, okay, we'll just adapt it this other way. We're still gonna get this money out of you, but hey, if you want it this way, so be it. We don't really care as long as we get paid.
Yeah, but come back to the PlayStation Store. I do hope they show that off because right now the PlayStation Store it freezes up sometimes when I use it, and I bet you that also is a problem for other people. Because let's face it, the PlayStation Store is slow, and that's something they need to improve too. And also,
That's
how
kind of like always their trick. They start off super slow with content, then they drop it nonstop as they go through the years. Microsoft usually comes in mad like swinging at the beginning, and then you just see it slowly die off. You know what I'm saying? As the gen goes on.
yeah.
So
Well, hopefully
now it's kind of like the polar opposite.
yeah. Hopefully they start trickling out more information more and more because the PS5 is releasing next month, so.
Yeah, by the time they get to the next Doom, and I will say Halo will help, but the moment they get into Doom and like what's that game? It's the other game from Bethesda,
Wolfenstein.
Starfield.
Starfield, and there's another one. There's the other one.
Uh,
It starts with S.
wait, Star.
Is that Star?
Yeah.
I don't know. That
It's like that sword game. It's like a sword game.
Skyrim?
What's that shit called? Skyrim.
Oh, it's called
Yeah,
Elder
Yeah,
Scrolls.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls. There you go.
Elder Scrolls. Okay, yeah.
That's
Okay,
another, yeah. When those games drop, then you'll see them make more of an actual bigger push as well. And that goes even more stating for Hellblade 2 as well. I can see Hellblade 2 helping them too.
No, very much Hellblade 2 will have some PlayStation users going to Xbox to get both systems.
Now, while we're on this topic, I want to talk about is, of course, that hint feature where they're going to be giving like tips to people on how to get certain trophies. Do you see third parties using that feature at all?
Well, you already see some taking advantage of it for Stadia. Remember, Square Enix was supporting it with Tomb Raider. So I can see some studios actually giving into it and helping them out. More than likely, though, since Sony's being very, very consumer friendly with like their first party in terms of like making them easy to plat, I can see their first party taking advantage of that a lot. I can see certain third parties maybe taking advantage of it, but not all.
Yeah. Now,
absolutely, the first party is definitely going to have it. Like, how could you not? You support the features of your platform in your first party, but the third parties at first might be enticed to do it and not really have the motivation to, and then when the enticement period is gone, I don't really see. I can't call it. I'm 50-50 on that, but I really don't expect them to to keep continuing on. Same thing happened on the Xbox when they had on those features on the Xbox. They didn't really pass the first part and a couple of the early third parties who was around launch window. That was about it.
That
you're talking about like Dead Rising 3, because I remember like the heart feature or something like that. There was something like that.
Nobody used it. Just like the touchpad. Like I noticed the touchpad is really not used at all in games, aside from like a menu button. That's literally it. So I can see it kind of being that type of scenario with that feature in the future. Like I can see some studios taking advantage of it, mostly first party, and then after that, it's like who needs it? They're not gonna.
Yeah, these features that tend to launch with the consoles, they tend to be forgetting about.
I do see studios taking advantage though of the new card system for the menu, because remember how with the trophies, you can click on them. It takes you to where that point is in the game without you having to start it all over or something like that. And you can do it from there, which is cool. I can see that being taken advantage of a lot, but that's really
Now,
it, really.
now, one thing I also hope they improve with all this new upgrades to the PS5 UI is their screen recording. Because the problem with the recording on the PS4 is that for certain games, it won't let you record like levels, like certain levels, like Red Hood. I think you know, Persona
Oh,
5.
you mean like the developer will block it out?
Yep.
That type
Yeah,
of-
they'll block it out. I
I don't
remember
think
that
that's
shit.
going to change. Yeah, I don't think that's going to change. I remember they did that for UFC back when I tried it. Like every time a pop up will pop out on the screen for like one of the developers or one of the actual representatives, it will cut the stream, in half there. I'm like, nah, this can't be shown. But I don't think that's going anywhere. I think that's still going to be a thing for them because they still got to like censor stuff that doesn't want to be, shown from their company. So they still got to do that. The only thing they pretty much upped this time around is just that it's going to be, 4K. That's pretty much it. You're getting 4K quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's right. Like, Big Cloud's definitely right because I remember back when I didn't have a PC and stuff like that, streaming on Twitch for like Arkham Knight, and they right towards the end they like blocked the whole thing and stuff like that, and I was able to talk, but they couldn't see anything and stuff like that, and that's very much because of Rocksteady. Persona 5 did the same thing as well towards the ending semester. They didn't show anything like that. So it's very much up to the developers. And that's why if you want to go streaming, that's why, like, granted, it's a great feature for newcomers, but if you want to do single player games and all that stuff, you very much want to get a streaming PC with an Elgato. So
I guess.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
true.
I guess that's something that won't
They
change.
do that to avoid spoilers, pretty much, and stuff like that. And that's what it is. It's for spoilers.
I kind of wish they could just like disable that feature like after a while, because after a while people are just gonna like not care about spoilers because the game's been out for a while.
People still care, even if you warn them. I do
yeah,
that
2
shit
years
all
or 3 years with Red Dead 2, dude, they still care. So
Yeah, they still care. I'd be like, hey, did you play Red Dead 2? Like, no. Do you care if I go into this damn ending, even though this game's 3 years old? Yes. So,
yeah.
they will do that.
But would you guys like to like? Do you guys want to see any other improvements to the UI at all?
Let's see. Other improvements to UI. I mean, it's
Question.
faster, it's slicker. What's up?
I have a question though. Are you gonna be able to snap a web browser? Because I've seen video, YouTube, Netflix, etc., etc. But I'm not too sure I saw like web browsing, being snappable, because that would be very helpful if I'm in an RPG and I need a
Like
walk through a
Xbox,
friend
where you
for
put like in a window on the side of the game.
Yeah, because they're doing all this snapping of video stuff. I would like
They
that
haven't
because even though
confirmed it
they
yet, but I would hope it be there.
yeah, me too. 'Cause that would be very useful, very very useful.
That actually does sound really useful. Just like search up something on the web and then have it just like right there on your screen to help you out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it helps out on the Xbox, and so the Xbox, having these features prior shows the way forward, and they seem to be implementing it exactly the way Microsoft did it. Other than the fact that you could snap it on the left or the right, I don't think Xbox had that at the time, and for some people it's better to have it there. But if it's a website, like for example, you have let's say a walkthrough for some RPG, you might have a video that explains it, but sometimes you just need to break down, do this, do that, do this without a bunch of spoilers about what's going to happen in game. And when you get a video, a lot of videos will have that. Meanwhile, text may not. So I prefer that.
Now, funny you mentioned that because I actually discussed that with on another show with PK and Flamish, and we were discussing how this feature would help if it would help prevent spoilers, like when showing people like get trophies or how to complete a certain level. Because we were also talking
all
about
the official videos, I think, definitely aren't going to have spoilers. In fact, I think they expressly said that. So, if they give you a video hint, that hint is going to have spoilers in it. Except when it comes to like mechanics of the game, depending on the game and the situation. But I think they expressly said they're trying to avoid spoilers, at least with the video part.
Yeah,
with
hopefully.
the video hints.
Hopefully. But yeah, like what qualifies a spoiler can be different for people sometimes.
Oh yeah,
So
it's way different for people.
yeah, so that's why like I don't know. I just think that
Yeah.
there might be like a few spoilers in like those clips at least, but hopefully not, because that would suck for people.
You know, we're getting that Schneider cut, which Red Hood's been simping for.
Definitely have not been sent before. I'm
He's been
saying it's
simping for it.
potentially
I've been
better
simping
than
for
the
it.
original movie, sir.
For...
Come on
If he
now.
hasn't, I have, so it's okay.
Like all I said was essentially it has to be better than Josh Whedon's cut. That's it.
Man been sitting here bowing to Josh Whedon's like mantle, like, yes, don't mess it up. I'm happy.
Because I was like one of the camps, like, listen, Josh Whedon's gonna, do his thing, and I think it'll be a good thing. And then when I watched it, I was like, you know what? I'd rather see Snyder's version after that.
Oh my god, I completely forgot that was coming out. To be honest, when's it supposed to
HBO
hit?
Max,
When's it supposed to hit it?
Which is trash.
2021.
I don't get why HBO Max gets it exclusively, which is dumb.
I mean, they're trying
because
to
that's the Warner
push
Brothers
it.
streaming platform. So
Yeah.
yeah, HBO Max is Warner Brothers, so that's why.
Yeah.
Personally,
Still.
I'll even say I actually like HBO Max more than Disney Plus, and that just because of more content coming out than
I'll give
Disney
you
Plus.
that. Yeah.
Actually,
Because Disney Plus is charging you damn near $50 for a movie, though.
I actually like it better
Yeah.
because it has
Like
more mature
A1.
content. Disney Plus is
Yeah.
just more like for like teenagers and kids.
That's the issue
Yeah.
with Disney.
Yeah, if you're a parent, you get Disney Plus because it's just a no-brainer. But everybody else is kind of like, eh.
The only reason
If you want something more, yeah,
the only
harder
reason I
edge
have
or
it is for
whatever.
nostalgia. To be honest.
yeah.
Yeah, because like you could see Disney Plus, right? With all the X-Men films are coming out to Disney Plus because they own Fox, right? But I guarantee you won't see Logan on there or Deadpool or any of those films that are rated R that are Marvel content on that platform at all.
Oh no, definitely not. Especially something like Deadpool 2. Although,
Yeah.
although I heard a rumor that Disney Plus would be adding some mature content to it, but I don't know if that's true. No,
Dude, their investors would like go ape if that were to happen.
knowing Disney, they stay away from mature content
It's
whatsoever.
their family-friendly brand.
Yeah. But okay, moving on. So there was a little bit of a controversy going on with the PlayStation Party chat. I don't know if you guys pay attention to that, but I guess there was a story that broke out saying that that Sony would be recording people's party chats, but I guess that turned out to be false, and they had to apologize for it. And they seem to
Let the excuses hit the flow. Let the excuses hit the flow.
they got a lot of backlash for that, and we're even being compared to how Xbox was being accused of listening in, even though it was true with that camera, the Kinect.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that whole controversy? Do you think that was mishandled, and that people kind of, or do you guys think that people will jump the gun?
I don't think this is my whole thing. Like you're being listened to everything to be real. Like freaking Instagram listens to you through your phone. Like I think I was like talking about a specific brand, right? And I don't even have Instagram open on my phone. Then I pull up my Instagram and that freaking brand is like popped up and I'm like, what the hell?
Oh no,
I was like,
I've had that happen to me too when I was talking about
And it's
like
like
some shoe brand.
yeah, and then they'll like put it. Or if I say something about Marvel, then like Marvel like shows up and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, like literally your devices are listening to you. It could be through companies, and even the government with your phone, and even Discord to a certain extent. Like I don't think people should be surprised about that. Like every single company like listens to you, and as well as the situation and stuff like that, and. I don't know why people are surprised PlayStation listens in or, doesn't. It doesn't matter. I think they do. I think Xbox listens to you as well as Discord. So, like, I'm not surprised. I don't know what else to say. Do I rather have these companies not listen to us at all? Even on my phone? Yes. I wish that was the case. But very much that'll never happen.
I think people are just ignorant to the fact that these companies listening into you, so they kind of just hope that they have privacy somewhat.
Yeah, they wish. Like Lexa, the same stuff, dude. They collect data and stuff like that
Oh, hell
and
yes.
sell it as well.
What are your thoughts about this whole debacle, Six Layer?
Well, yeah, like you guys said, all these companies, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Sony, of course they're listening in. But I think in particular with this situation, the complaint was that you could specifically record and report. And even if you weren't doing it, it was potentially doing it automatically. And with all the pointing of fingers that people do these days, it is quite easy to get a clip out of context and take some person who's fine upstanding person and make them look like the devil, and then that's their life, especially with the cancel culture going on, where one bad thing and you're done for life, or at least for a very long time. And so there was all that fear about that. But yeah, they came out and they clarified it to a degree, but even then, yeah, like you guys have said, these companies are listening, and this shouldn't be a surprise in that aspect. But yeah, all the details about how and why, I think, was the issue this time.
Yeah.
Oh no, I agree with that actually. But the issue also is like when PC gaming and stuff like that. If you're in a Discord and stuff like that, like a big Discord, just let's say a random Discord, right? And there's like 200 people, and then you're in like a Discord of 10 people, and they have GeForce experience. They could 100% edit that shit out of what you're saying and take it out of context, and you're canceled. It's like the same thing happens with Elgato and capturing people's voices as well through PlayStation with Party Chat or Xbox with Party Chat. It's like granted it's more accessible now to do so with that feature, but it still happens.
Yeah, people forget I'd done that before. I don't know. You remember, Callie, when my channel first started, when I debated JTech back in the day?
I remember that.
Yeah, like that's pretty much the same thing with PlayStation. They can do like somebody can easily just snippet it out, and people are going, "Well, you can't do that on PS4." Here's the thing: that's PS4. This is the future. We haven't seen this done on PS5 yet, and we don't know if this is true or not. And judging from PS5, you don't need to go and back out to a separate screen anymore. It's instantaneous. You know what I'm saying? When you're in a party chat. So all that stuff can actually be recorded and taken out of context for sure. If they can edit it out, I can see it happening. So this is pretty much the issue.
Now this actually brought up my other question of like, who the hell actually needs this? Like, I get if parents are worried that they want to record party chats, but
this is why Discord needs to be a thing on both.
You've been saying that Discord needs to be on PS4.
Yeah.
Well, to answer that question
put
of
Discord
yours,
on PS4, put Discord on Xbox. And since both sides, keep in mind, this is the better part about it, because let's keep it real. All of us for a majority of us, right? We're all on Discord. We're not really in these PlayStation or Xbox lobbies like we used to be. Now are we? We're mostly in Discord chilling. Why? Because Discord's more fun. It's more easier for us to chill and talk. We can multitask easier with Discord. And since they're trying to push crossplay more so on the consoles, this would be the perfect solution to keep people, engaged and let people talk across all platforms. It'd be the perfect app for it. So honestly, it's best you do that. That way you don't compromise your network. You know what I'm saying? Have that be your option. This is why I always look down on Nintendo, because Nintendo missed a golden opportunity with that, with their Switch, with Discord. They go, okay, we don't have voice chat. Okay, no problem. You had an easy out with Discord. Discord still is not looked at for Nintendo, and people give Nintendo a pass for this, but it's like, nah, there's an easy fix for all your problems, and it's right there. It's Discord.
Nintendo. Typical Nintendo too, by the way.
Yeah, and Deuce Cat for it, and then Damage Control.
Yeah, like Discord said they would create an app specifically for Nintendo Switch for,
Yep.
Like, and that's crazy to me that they didn't accept. Now, do I wish these console manufacturers would? Yeah, yes, but I very much doubt it, because they don't want to pay whatever cut, Discord is going to ask for or anything like that. And
they be age restricted too. Didn't they say something like that, Red Hood? Like they have age restricted ones, like some for kids. They'll check your dates and all that. So it's like, yeah, they were covered right there. But again, they never looked into Discord. I don't understand it.
Yeah, and
they
Nintendo's
wanted
really
$50 on an app.
Definitely had the concern. Yeah,
or not an app, but like that adapter piece thing, whatever that thing was.
But like, it's interesting because I'm specifically on Discord like a lot, right? And the audio quality is really freaking good. and I think it was I forgot who said this, but I know me, Big Cloud, and Blaze. I think it might have been Blaze and a couple other people were like, you know what, let's go play party chat because everyone's gonna be playing Ghosts. And I go in there, dude. The audio quality is so garbage.
Bro.
And I was like, this is night and day. I thought it was better from what I remember. And I'm like, nah, maybe Discord really clouded me in thinking that PlayStation's like semi-decent with party chat. And the same thing goes for Xbox, because I sometimes use the party chat system with the PC app or something like that to talk to my friend who just games on Xbox. And I'm just like, shit, man, bro. Dude, you need to get on Discord because I can't deal with this.
Bro, it sounded like we were all on Wi-Fi, and we know damn well we're all on wired connections. We're just talking, but it just not the same level of quality at all. And it's like, bro, I don't know what to really expect at this point. But I already know, like, we already talked about this off air. It's like, you know, when it comes to the next-gen systems, obviously, first party, Sony, I'm buying all if I find, you know, if I like it. But third party, I don't know, man. I don't see it on either Xbox or PlayStation, honestly. I see it more so on the rig. That's what I just been more comfortable with. So,
Yeah,
it is what it is, man.
long time
I've been
PC
too
player, I
comfortable.
definitely understand and agree with that. But
Here's the thing:
yeah,
I haven't been a long time PC player. You can ask Red Hood. I haven't. I have been mostly console this whole gen. I recently upgraded the whole stuff to 4K. This whole gen I have gained mostly at 1080p, 60, you know, 144 hertz and whatnot.
nice.
I never really went to 4K, and not until recently.
Yeah, well, I have an upgrade, a little side upgrade until I could get a 3080, but I wanted to get something to, you know, push this TV that I got in anticipation for the console. But getting back to the subject, I wanted to say that I think the one concern that Sony may have had when at least with the EULA, that had everybody afraid in the first place about what was going on, is that I think they have, because they definitely have concerns about cheaters and people who are harassing others in party chats and game chats, and they wanted some kind of way to be able to report, you know, people who doing the wrong thing. But as everybody feared, you know, it could be used for something, you know, not so good, you know, who could, you know, false flag people, you know, get them canceled, things like that. So I think at least that was a concern with the EULA part, and who knows? Who knows? There needs to be a better way for all these assholes online. Oh, bless
I
you.
think to like go off what you're saying, right, is like I don't know if this is true. I think I was hearing that Sony was being reactionary because there was some like bullying like going on at a party chat or something like that for a kid. I'm not gonna go into specifics, but it was a very serious situation, and they supposedly were reactionary to what happened because supposedly they are bullies or something like that, and they I guess from my perspective didn't handle the situation correctly, but I think they were trying to do what was right, but weren't really, I don't know, thinking about it, doing it correctly or implementing it correctly or something like that.
I think the announcement was just like, it was just kind of, it didn't play out for them well like they thought it would. It just kind of backfired to them and made people worry.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had well intentions, but I don't know. I feel like some kids, like friends, are gonna be assholes and take people out of context just to mess with them. Because I think we've all had one of those friends that try to mess with us.
Most definitely.
Oh yeah, I have friends who legit join my chat just to try to get me to say something stupid. Like they're just, you know, not they're not assholes, obviously.
Oh,
Right?
no.
They're just friends. They just do
Like
dumb
trolling.
shit. Like,
Yes,
they troll.
trolling.
Like, you know, I have people who join my session at times be dicks. I have people do that all the time, and that's just some crazy shit. But again, that's where the issue lies. All it takes is one toxic lobby, and you can potentially lose your account. And we're going into more of the extreme here, you know? Like, you know, Call of Duty has a toxic community. You know, fighting games have toxic communities, shit like that.
CS:GO.
You know,
Oh hell yes.
CS:GO has a
It's the
toxic community.
worst. It's the worst, bro.
Yeah.
CS:GO is definitely the worst. I would definitely give you that. Like, I saw Alex play. I was like, how the hell?
I think
and messy over there, you know.
after a while, I think League of Legends actually topped that out.
Oh no, I don't know about League. Like I go back and forth, but CS:GO for me, the stuff they say in the lobbies and stuff like that, it's pretty pretty bad, especially like when it comes to like other female players joining. Bro, other guys go crazy, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, it just goes to show the two games you guys are debating a little bit about which may have more, or two of the top games that are played on the internet in mass. You look at the Steam numbers, you see those are two of the top games. League of Legends is clearly been number one for years. So the more people there, the more chances, and there you go. It's just a thing with people, and Sony's I think their intentions was to try to address this, or do something proactive about it, and it kind of blew up in their face. To be frank, I really don't think any more than that about this.
Yeah, hopefully we don't. Hopefully we don't get stories of just like what happened with like the Connect, or people were hearing like just like random awkward conversations. Like,
I'm getting the Connect vibes anyway. Like the start of this gen. You remember the Xbox sign off, Charles?
Oh yeah,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, I'll give you a
you
little
got to
story
go-
about back in the day when Xbox Live was in beta. I remember, it was still a new thing to chat with people with a headset mic. So, all of us are like in the chat, we're all in awe, like, wow, we can actually talk to each other. Where are you? I'm in Texas. Where are you? I'm in New York. Oh, I'm in Florida. I'm in California. And then we were talking about some issue we were having. It was still in beta at the time. We were like, I wish they would, fix this and that. I wish they could hear us and do something about it. And then all of a sudden, a voice that wasn't in the group was like, yeah, I hear you. We're working on it. So that definitely was somebody from Microsoft because this was in beta, and we already knew that, like, their folks could be listening in, but I think they could speak to us. And he didn't say any more than that. I was like, what? Who's that? Everybody was like, what? And yeah, he didn't say anything. But yeah, I mean, in a beta, yeah, people were definitely listening. But if there's a situation going on and they could have a button where they go, hey, something's going on, and they press like a secret button, like, if a bank is getting robbed, they've got that button they could press that doesn't, ring an audible alarm, but it's calling the cops in the background. And so you could have, some kind of mod come in and just watch and listen to the situation and then judge what's going on. They could have did something like that, but even that could have been taken advantage of. People love to troll and be little smart asses to cause chaos in general. So
oh no,
it's
yeah.
kinda hard. It's a tough situation to deal with, no matter what you do.
Like how you said that people like to be trolls. I've seen a few occasions on Twitch where big streamers would get trolled from one of the viewers and get swatted at some points.
Yeah,
Old
like
getting
Red
short.
Hood's favorite sim streamer he sims for,
Oh,
Pokemon.
What? This man being
Yeah,
telling
like,
some
no,
lies
like, come on,
today.
Come on, they got her to look at porn on her screen live on stream, and then she's
Oh,
still
wow.
here. Though. Y'all remember that when she looked
Yeah.
at porn? Like,
I mean,
somebody
I
said, "Hey,
remember that.
it's right there. It's right there on the tab." She goes, "Right here." How'd you this porn on the screen? Like, come on, man.
Red, Big Cloud better not be right about you simping for her, otherwise I might be worried for you.
Not,
Red Hood's sitting hard for Pokemon.
not at all, sir.
Bro, he was like, she thicker than a bull oatmeal.
No, did we have this conversation? I said very much the opposite, sir.
Oh, you admit that you said it, though. See, look at it.
Oh no, I didn't even say that. You
Nah,
said something
it
similar to
did,
that, and
man.
I said that is
Said she was
false.
thick.
Sir.
I'm like,
Oh.
bro, she built like a damn envelope. What's wrong with you, man?
Oh man.
Something that got me.
Pokemon stick.
Now we're back to topic. Something that got me thinking was I know for this generation people have been kind of well, at least the casuals have been kind of complaining that like the party chats have kind of taken away from like the old school COD lobbies, how they used to be like just toxic to chat in. And
Oh yeah.
so I kind of feel like this report feature is kind of a bit pointless, but at the same time I do understand it. But I don't know, do you guys think it's useful? You guys think it'll be pointless in the future?
Absolutely. This is just not going to be an effective means of dealing with whatever they're trying to deal with that. Like, there's more opportunity, for them to game the system and be more of a nuisance than a help. So this just isn't the way to go. Even the little idea I came up with doesn't sound like a good way to go.
Yeah.
It's really such a tough problem. It's been dealt with for many years.
Although I'd argue that game lobbies haven't been as toxic as they were like in the PS3 and Xbox 360 generation, just because of like how people just chat with their friends now in party chats.
Yeah, everybody just goes to party chats to avoid things, but at the same time, you're missing the camaraderie. It's party chat was a good and bad thing when Microsoft, first, brought it in. it because there was all that toxicness that was going on, and so people were able to instead click up and not have to hear all these toxic people. They could play together, to squad up and say Call of Duty or something, and they could only, and because they're playing together, they're teamed up together. But if they had any other people who were on their team who were in the party chat, then they couldn't communicate with them. But it was helpful to be able to avoid all these bad voices and other things, but at the same time it kills the camaraderie aspect of online gaming. And geez, it's hard to say which is the bigger loss, or is the loss worth the party chat, or is it better that we just get rid of party chat, wholesale, and go back to try the camaraderie, but then got to deal with the toxic voices that we, as we just said, have no good ideas on how to address.
Yeah.
I definitely remember the times in COD lobbies where kids would just say like the stupid shit, like they'll F your mom or something stupid, and yeah, I can see that the problems were back then.
Very good. Yeah.
But I feel like now you just kind of lose that connection with people. Like you don't get to meet as many people. You just stay in that same friend group that you're in.
Exactly.
See, Discord on the other hand, definitely be meeting a lot of new people and stuff like that, being the servers.
I know. Yeah, that actually benefits a big cause point of how like these consoles need to implement.
Yeah, that Red Hood's the sub. You see about the sub?
Oh man.
No.
Okay, Ryan. Okay, I might accuse you of being a simp if you keep calling my boy Red.
Dude, he definitely is, man.
Here we go. Here we go.
I can pull up the tweets right now.
Ooh, Red has got some shade.
Ironically, yeah, the tweets that you're in. What's that say?
I definitely respond to his tweets.
Hey, you respond to all the tweets, sir.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. But now I wanted to talk about Phil Spencer talking about Bethesda. How in an interview that was posted a few days ago, or I believe was posted on Saturday. I don't know exactly.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was posted that I guess the interviewer asked him that if they needed to put Bethesda games on other platforms to make up the cost of course, the titles that they have. Because I know that's been a question that's been going around for some people, and especially the fanboys from the PlayStation side. Now, of course, Phil Spencer said that they don't actually need to put those games on other platforms besides their own and PC and, of course, mobile. But I was always one to think that they would put like Doom and Skyrim and Fallout, just like the bigger titles, on other platforms, keep them out the plats, and put like all the other franchises and newer games as exclusives. But hearing Phil Spencer say that, it kind of changed my mind. It made me realize that, like, of course, like they have the big bucks, so of course they wouldn't care.
They think Doom's popular. They see Doom's popularity, and they're gonna probably use that to push Game Pass more, and push those games as a service modules to like another level for them. That's pretty much what they're doing here. So it kind of makes sense that he says this, but at the same time, I kind of stick to my guns too. I do believe that more likely he will release some of these games to PlayStation in general, because obviously PC and Xbox, come on, let's keep it real. They want them everywhere. They want more money in the long run. They want more money.
Yeah, well, I'm one of the ones who disagrees wholeheartedly. I think I think, Phil is a nice guy, so he doesn't want to just be like, no, damn it. It's only like, but basically he said it in more ways than one. And Cali Rex, one of your co-hosts was on GRG with us maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then like maybe 3 hours after the show, there was some announcement or whatever that was more clarified. I mean, not as much as this thing this past weekend about, the fact that, like, how many more ways does he need to say it? But it was, quite definitive in his time that these games aren't coming to to PlayStation. It's just like if it was Sony who had made this deal, no one would even question if these games were coming to Xbox. They just weren't. But now that Xbox is doing it, I don't know. No.
I can see that, but at the same time, he did go on to say that they're not in it to take away games from other platforms. So that's kind of what made me kind of like.
Yeah, that's kind of the context that kind of makes it go back to square one. It's like,
it kind of makes you
whoa.
think like, okay, so does it
Yeah,
mean,
like, are you really buying this for exclusivity? Or are you buying this to maximize profit by putting on all platforms, and you just be the head overseer, and you bring in more profit? You know what I'm saying? That's why I
Nah,
would.
well,
I mean, a big investment. What was it, 7.5 billion?
7.5 billion cash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
But-
big investment.
that's a gigantic investment. I think one of the biggest ever. But see, like once again, if Sony had did this, you wouldn't expect vice versa, right? But because what would Sony's plan be? The same plan they always have for exclusives, to bring you
Well,
to their platform and away from the competing platforms. That's what the idea is. I don't see why it's any different
Well,
here.
here's the thing, though. I get what you're coming from, but remember, Sony's whole mindset this entire gen has been strictly about their basics, which is their, exclusivity. They have always believed in exclusivity. Microsoft has not believed strictly into a console exclusivity at all this year. You think about it. It's the most open platform they've built now. Xbox went from
Yeah,
being
but
an
that's
exclusive
really-
platform to being strictly open. So you don't really like Microsoft has eliminated the actual purpose of buying a box just to buy the games. You don't need to buy the box anymore.
Right,
I was gonna.
but it's open. But
yeah.
it's open to platforms.
It's open, yeah. It's open
But it's open
platform
to
because that
platforms
brings
they
in more
control.
profit. Yeah,
Right,
it's an
but
open
only
platform because they bring in more
But
profit
only
this
to
year with
those
PC.
that they control, because it's not a PlayStation, it's not a Nintendo Switch, it's a Microsoft Windows. Android is their mobile OS of choice that they deal with now, and their console Xbox. So if you don't play on Xbox, well, you're playing on a PC. If you're not playing on PC, you're playing on mobile and XCloud. It's still within Microsoft's purview, and they're getting the money and not their competitors. It tracks you away from them, and just because they have multiple platforms, it's open. It's not open like in the way where everything that they have is coming.
Here's the problem with that too, though. So you're saying this on Microsoft strictly thing. Microsoft has a tendency to put stuff on Steam where you don't have to buy it on the actual store at all. A lot of their stuff you can get through Steam. You don't even need Xbox anything. You don't need the Windows. You don't need this.
Windows. And
This
to them,
is
that's
strictly their. Oh, go ahead, Reddit.
I was gonna say, to piggyback off of Big Cloud, a lot of games I didn't expect to go to other platforms were Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will-O-Wisp, as well as Cuphead to go to other platforms that aren't even the Windows platform.
Now, the thing with those games, those are more second party games. So I kind of don't see that as something like true like games like Halo or Gears of War. But
yeah, but to be fair, it is up to the discretion of Microsoft for those games to go to other platforms.
The funny thing is, didn't Microsoft want Halo on PlayStation and Sony denied it?
I've heard this rumor. People have said this rumor for a while.
It was from Colin. It was from Colin. saying
like
that they were.
want Halo on there, but it's like Sony's like, nah, you're not bringing your shit to our platform. So,
well, the only other thing I could say to that is you look at certain games, even on PlayStation, they got Death Stranding and others that have come to PC. I could see Spider-Man within like next year, sometime late next year.
To be fair about Death Stranding, Death Stranding was never theirs.
Well,
to begin with,
Sony is starting to head into the PC market. Like they've already put Horizon Zero Dawn on Steam.
Horizon Zero Dawn, yeah, that's the big title right there.
But
Death Stranding was never really theirs. That was
it was in partnership. They announced that with Andrew House. They said it was coming to both PS4 and PC. Then people were like, well, they're using the Decima engine, so it might not come to PC, but they had a contract stating it was coming to PC.
Yeah, people failed to realize what they really got out the deal. Yeah, they got a timed exclusivity for the game, but they also got their engines fine-tuned by Kojima himself. That's pretty much what they paid for.
Although
their maintenance.
What's the story with Detroit Become Human coming to PC? Is that owned by Sony, or
that was by David Cage? David Cage was never bought by PlayStation. They just had like a good working relationation.
They did own the titles. They did own the titles.
Yeah, they never owned the titles. It was always
no. Big Cloud. I think PlayStation did own the titles, the IPs.
They own the IPs to Detroit. Yeah. I thought that was David Cage.
No. Because let me even pull up, because I have Detroit Become Human fucking installed right now.
Because on the Detroit Become Human.
because I'm gonna see if it says Sony when it pops up. like Death Stranding does, and stuff like that.
Because on the Steam page, it says that it was the PC versions of their games were published by Quantic Dream, of course. But
yeah, but 505 also published freaking whatchamacallit,
Detroit.
Death Stranding, and then Horizon was PlayStation Mobile.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
although
Did they let that cringe game on there as well? Did they put that on PC? That Beyond Two Souls?
yeah, they put it on there, and they also put
all the
Heavy
games
Rain.
Detroit Become Human as well.
I think the only one that's
What about
missing-
Heavy Rain?
I think the only-
And Heavy Rain, yeah.
I think the only
Heavy
one
Rain's
that's
on PC too?
yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I have it on PC as well.
It's on Steam or Epic?
Both.
Steam and Epic.
How much is it on Steam?
$30, right?
I got it on sale for like 20.
$20 at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's worth 20.
But going back to the
Pay
topic.
for the tax discrimination.
Now going back to the topic. Now I did hear a few people bring up a good points, like why he kind of backtracked and said that, of course, that they don't want to take games off of platforms. And this, the person I heard bring up this point was Randall Thor. He brought up that, of course, they haven't fully purchased Bethesda yet. Like, they're still in the processes of it, so they didn't want to confirm anything. Do you guys think that is true to an extent?
Yeah. Reason why is like think about a big purchase deal like Disney and Fox. You know, they announced that they're purchasing Fox, but took about like a year or two to finalize the deal. So this probably is going to take a year or two. So
yeah, it definitely take a while because the first announcement was just that they were planning to purchase them and that the deal wasn't finalized yet. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to go off because the whole 7.5 billion in cash, it's going to take a while for them to make up that money. Reason why I say that is because Star Wars took a while to make up, and that they had merchandising and stuff like that, as well as film and home DVD and stuff like that. That took was it just recently in 2019? I think it was. And that was only $2.5 billion, I believe. So.
I view that Star Wars purchase as a failure for Disney, to be honest. Their movies haven't been the best.
Hey, man, but the Mando is pretty good. But I was going to say, it's going to take a while. Do I think some games will come to PlayStation? Sure. Do I think majority of it will not? Probably. It'll probably stick with Xbox PC. Just because they want to, push... their systems, even though that they don't want to say so, but they also want to push their app, Game Pass, on every device. So that's the thing. Now, like, they want to wait also in terms of this is the Netflix of gaming, right? They want to be on every device and even PlayStation and stuff like that, but they're not to that structure yet where everything's online. And what I mean by that is a consistent, great connection with no latency and stuff like that. They need that. And it's going to take a while because once it gets to that point, Xbox will stop making boxes. So, but that might be another generation from now.
Yeah, like another generation or two. But with the mobile version of xCloud, or how they're bringing xCloud to the mobile does make up more revenue than the console and PC revenue in gaming. So, you think Phil Spencer could just ignore putting it on PS4 and Switch, just focus on PC, Xbox, and mobile just specifically?
I mean, they could, but they definitely want to also maximize their profits as well. So
yeah, because at the end of the day, these companies really just care about money more than anything.
Yeah, my whole issue, and I've been saying this in numerous podcasts and stuff like that, is Xbox, having their games come out and not being able to purchase their games and stuff like that. You have to be required for a subscription. It's, kind of similar to Netflix in a way, right? So, like, if you want to own those games, you have to consistently have a subscription for Game Pass and stuff like that.
No, you could purchase those games outright on Game Pass if you wish. And if
I know that. I'm just saying.
He's talking about in terms of having later access. You have to repurchase.
No, not even to later access, because if
No,
you
no, no. Well,
came out right, you would have it if you have Game Pass or even Xbox Live. It would still be under your account.
so wait, let me explain this more. I mean, in the future, like 10 or 15 years from now, that you're not going to be able to, that they're going to require a subscription, that you're not able to purchase said games, and they want you consistently, to be in that monthly subscription, that they're able to, make that revenue and stuff like that, so they can have everyone on that ecosystem.
I don't see that.
And the only
happening.
games
I don't see them taking away that.
have on this service.
I don't see them
like,
taking away that feature to
period.
buy games from Game Pass, because I think that would piss off a lot of people.
That will piss off a lot of people. No matter the platform, they've tried stuff like this from before, and it never works out. Like these mobile games, even now on phones, where you, like I don't want to spend all this money on Real Racing 3. I'd rather just have, I'd rather play, like $50 or whatever, and have the full game and be able to unlock everything as I play. And give me both versions. A free version where I'm paying as I go. That would be fun to have as an option in addition. But I don't really think they plan to ever, because every time that's even been approached, right, there's been massive pushback. Look at the DRM situation with the Xbox One. Even I didn't pre-order day one, and if it wasn't for a friend of mine, I wouldn't have had one day one, because the day after they switched up on their DRM plans and announced, and then I was like, okay, fine, I'll purchase, because I was adamantly against that whole plan, and many people were. And it wasn't until Microsoft flip-flopped on that they even had a chance to even survive, to be able to continue in the games industry at that point. That's why I felt it was that big of a deal. So definitely, even in 15 years, I really don't think that gamers will ever accept that at all. Like, most of us gamers who don't accept that now would have to be like really old and not into gaming anymore for that even to be able to even begin to have a conversation with anyone. Like, a whole new generation of gamers who don't know about before.
Yeah, for me, I don't know, man. I've been like, I got that fear going, so it could possibly not happen. But dude, I feel like for mostly console gamers, that they've been letting, devs inch by inch take like control out from them, putting microtransactions and all this stuff. You don't really see a big pushback from these games that have heavily microtransaction game. The only one that comes to instance was Battlefront 2, because it was so egregious.
That and
little by little, I feel like it's going to become worse. And then, like, the console gamers, like, let's say freaking online, for instance, paying for online. Like, PC gamers were straight up, no, we're not going to do that. Because Xbox was, trying to make PC gamers do that. And, they said, all right, we're not going to require a pay subscription for online. Whereas these console guys, it happened. Both, like, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox has like paid online. Well, what are those benefits of paying online? There's not really a benefit.
Yeah, you're just going back. You're basically paying for something that should just be immediately there from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? Like Nintendo, you have more perks. Like, I hope y'all realize this. Y'all have more perks when Nintendo's online before they charge you. You have no perks now. There's no perks.
I'd argue otherwise, because
But the hacking of the PlayStation Network situation kind of poo-poos that whole thing. You get what you pay for. That's an old adage from long before.
Yes,
you
and
get what you pay
Xbox
for.
Live still have gone down regardless of.
Well, networks always go down, and as a person with networking degree, trust me, no, there is no perfect network.
No, this is why I'm proving you're false here, because you remember it was not anonymous. It was another group. Because remember, anonymous took out this group. It was that frog group. What was it called? It was that little retarded. It was like that weird group they were taking down.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They were legit. Yeah, they were legit taking
not
down not just PSN but Xbox Live, and they were doing that on their own terms. They doing that
PSN got hacked.
He's talking about PlayStation 3.
Yeah, PlayStation 3. They got hacked.
Yeah, he's talking about PS. Yeah, but I'm saying he said you get what you pay for. PSN is now paid for, and PS4 the same thing happened with PlayStation
and
4.
Xbox,
but that's not
both
the same
have been
thing.
taken down regardless.
That's not the same
It actually
thing.
is. They were warned this time around by the very group who took
One
them down.
is a denial of service.
let Sixlayer make his point.
Accounts and stuff. That's totally different. An actual account hack.
I'm just telling
hack.
you that
That's
you're paying paying for security. I'm just trying to tell you, you're not paying
But
for
you
security.
are, and there's the
Not
example.
really.
PlayStation
They're
Network
not
got
paying for
hacked.
security.
Wholesale, actual hack. People
Mike-
got into the systems,
Sony-
got passwords, accounts, credit card
Yeah,
information.
That was
that's
a
because
That did
Sony
not
did not
happen
think.
with
Sony
Xbox.
never
What
thought.
happened was a denial of service attack, and
Okay.
that could happen to anything.
Okay,
No matter-
if you knew anything, PlayStation 3's network was bare bones from the get-go. First of all, they went
That's
into
right.
PlayStation 3. They never thought PlayStation 3's network out to begin with. They never had a legit specialist go out and fine-tune that at all. And when you go to their business model as their first, when they first went down the whole series, they had to actually do that themselves and go back and add firewalls and all that stuff. We didn't pay for that shit. They had to pay out of pocket for that stuff.
You did pay for it. If
No,
you
we
notice,
did not. They didn't even make profit.
Very
They weren't
soon
making profit
after,
on PS3 at the time.
PlayStation Plus required a subscription.
PlayStation 3 did not have
Oh, no,
Plus
PS-
required
PS-
online.
PS3 didn't require
It's on
online.
PS4.
It didn't. But if you notice, soon after the hack, the PS4 was out, and they were charging for PSN access. That's when they started paying for, and you just get.
and they fixed their network.
When you
They
weren't
fixed their
paying for
network with PlayStation 3. Hope
it
you
was
know
a
that.
very
by the way.
basic network, as you yourself just said, a very basic, easy to hack network.
It's not.
And they
It's
fixed that
gotten
we
better.
didn't pay for it.
It's
because
gotten
the
better
network
over
was
time.
still free.
It's gotten better now that you're paying
Okay.
for it. Like the money is going
But-
towards that.
Nah, I don't know about that,
I
dude.
still argue that you don't really need to pay it online because with
No,
PC
wait,
you don't
wait,
get that
I
problem
don't get what
at
you paid
all.
for.
Wait, can I interject?
Yeah.
Because
Go right ahead, bro.
that's the case, right? Steam.
Yeah, that's why I was bringing up PC.
It's a free game. Yeah, it's free.
Exactly. That's why I said this isn't the hill he must die on. But go ahead.
So, like, if that's the case, then why is Steam not charging people?
Every company has a different business model. Steam sells games, and then they do what 4 times a year they do what I call crackhead sales, where they're selling games at crackhead prices because it attracts people to their platform. That's their business model. That's what works for them. On PC, they don't accept that at all. On console, is different. All these PlayStation fans said, "Ha ha ha! PlayStation Network is free," up until the PS4 came out, and now you're paying for PlayStation Network.
And I
It's
think
very-
though.
Steam,
That was the
Steam
network
is
that got
free
hacked.
and
Xbox
still
Live
offers
didn't ever get
free,
hacked.
free games and all that stuff.
But my thing is, I personally feel like none of these systems should have paid online because they have the infrastructure, they make the money, they make so
Hey,
much money off the royalties.
I agree too,
I
but
don't know.
Okay.
I'm with Red Hood.
Because they
I-
definitely make a lot of money off royalty. Xbox,
definitely.
Yeah,
PlayStation,
exactly.
because
out
they
of
have
that
a
one.
store.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to
It's
some,
no.
I want to go back to something that you mentioned before, Red Hood. I know I didn't write this down as a topic. I actually didn't talk about this before, but you know how you said that how possibly Xbox could have like one more generation or 2 more generations before like they stop having a consoles. Now, funny enough, there was a rumor that was going around, or something I was taken out of context with who was the head of PlayStation again?
Jim Ryan.
Yeah, Jim Ryan.
Jim Ryan. I
How-
was Phil Ryan. Jim Ryan.
Yeah, I guess people were saying that. I guess he said that they wouldn't be doing more consoles after the PS5. But I guess like I don't know if you guys saw like the article that people were like running with. But
I didn't get to see that article, but if you said that, I still think like they're overestimating internet infrastructure because I think it'll be a PS6 or maybe a PS7. But after that, very much also see PlayStation going into the whole online infrastructure. That's why, for me,
At that
as a
point,
PC
that's like
gamer,
15 years or so, you think? That's
Yeah.
about 15 years, you think? Yeah.
probably.
that's why I'm going to be sticking with PC because my hardware, I like everything, like, being owned into my hard drives. Well, not hard drives. I don't even have a single hard drive. SSDs and NVMe's into, my PC and stuff like that. So, like me, they can do that, and that's great and all, but I rather, have like installed games onto my SSDs and stuff like that, and having my NVIDIA graphics cards and the CPUs. And that's why I think PC will never go in that way. Granted, you'll have the GeForce thing where you're on your mobile device and stuff like that, being able to stream your games through your PC and all that stuff, or the games that you own. But PC very much is an ecosystem in of itself with these guys selling parts and stuff like that. So you definitely won't see PC gaming going away at all.
Yeah,
So-
PC's always been the platform of choice, so they're gonna have every option available. Streaming, or you own the game yourself and you download the game, or even some kind of physical media. There's still games out there on disc that are being printed every day. I haven't touched one in many years. I don't know about you guys. You guys probably haven't either. But the PC's always been about that choice. So you're always gonna have what you want, how you want it, and that's what it's always been about.
Yeah, that's actually the reason why I got into PC gaming, because I was tired of being restricted on consoles.
Yeah,
there's not that much freedom, to be honest with you.
Exactly. Wanting more, higher FPS, different resolutions, more mods, better textures, carrying like some textures that you don't care about, lowering it to get a better FPS, those choices and stuff like that, and having mods and all that. So it's like, and free online. It's like, and also Discord's like one of those big things where I just like being a PC gamer and all that. And like, listen, I love sometimes my Switch and PlayStation, and as well as some Xbox games. It's just I just can't go back as a main platform to those systems ever again.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to go back, especially if you get used to the higher FPS. I can vouch for that. But all right, I guess we're done talking about this topic now. So I guess we can move on to the Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I guess they've been letting more people get their hands on playing the gameplay. I don't know if you guys have seen like people like YouTubers like Young have gone their hands on it. And to be honest, the game doesn't look all that impressive to me. I don't know, like what I think it might be just like the textures, but I don't know. I want to get your guys' thoughts on like Valhalla and how it looks currently, and how it'll be on current gen consoles or not current gen, next gen.
I got a lot to say, and I gotta say this: for people trying to make this a console war thing, just stop, because I think I mentioned something on Twitter about it, and then said, like, let me pull it up because I had a mention for this because it was so dumb, and people were saying, oh, is this video 4 or 5 months old with Young talking about Valhalla? And I said, no, the video came out a day or two ago. And someone said, can we please stop acting like this? If it was a Sony exclusive, ponies wouldn't be using this for every meme right now. It's clearly going to be the best day one game in scope, which I thought was really funny to me in terms of scope. And I literally responded, I don't care about console wars. So don't bring it up. I game primarily on PC, and I will not be picking up this game. It looks like an unpolished game with mediocre combat. Let's not get started with their pathetic attempts at trying to be like the Witcher 3 side quest. And when it doesn't come close, I will not be paying for Uplay Plus. That is $15 a month to play it. It's not worth it. Now I will be playing Cyberpunk 2077, an actual good game. Ubisoft can keep making trash, and I will not play it. Okay. And when I saw Young's video, dude, there's a lot of things going wrong. The textures don't look great. The voice acting is subpar, and the sound effects for Valhalla, like on these like
you talking about that shit? Oh god,
yeah. And it's like, and coming from a guy that likes RPGs and stuff like that, like I played Origins, and to me, it's not even really an RPG. It's a very light RPG, and I don't care about their romance. This doesn't come close to games that have, better romances in those games. They try to always put that in the forefront. Since even Unity, they were hyping that romance up as well. And I was just like, we need to call out games. It doesn't matter if they have these promotions for these systems. We need to call it out, just like people should call out Avengers, even though that's PlayStation marketing, and Valhalla that has Xbox marketing. Those games I do not care for, and I will call out, and people need to stop bringing up the console wars. Like, these games need to be called out. We need to demand better from these games, because guess what? Next generation, when Ubisoft starts charging $70, you get something like this again.
They already know the bottom line they have to reach, pretty much, and that's the quality, and pretty much people are gonna buy it, and that's the issue here too. I agree with you completely. Like, I saw the screenshots again. I saw the gameplay. It doesn't look that much better to when we saw it, in the original leaked footage, to what I think IGN played. It didn't look that different. Animations look off. It doesn't look good. And now they're pushing relationships in a Viking setting. It's like, Who cares about relationships in a Viking setting? It doesn't make sense to me. The relationships thing, I would see if you had a charismatic character like Ezio, you know what I'm saying? And you get something out of the deal. But with Vikings, nah. I don't know about that.
I know your thoughts on this. We discussed the other day, man.
Oh yeah.
So what?
But getting your thoughts about this, I already know how you feel about Valhalla and what it's pushing.
I mean, look. I told people, remember I did that video, Callie. I warned people. I was like, bro, this shit looking spooky. What did you say to me, Callie? Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It's pre-rendered footage or it was decompression of video. I'm like, okay. You get to the final product, what do you see, Callie? It's the exact same thing. There's no innovation here. They literally tried to repackage Odyssey, right? And you can clearly see they didn't really fine-tune it. They rushed to do this. I know Red Hood noticed this. They rushed to do. That's why you have so many inconsistencies with with the way the character moves and the actual environment and stuff. It's missing details that it should not be missing. And that's because they rushed this product out here to meet the console launch. That's pretty much what they went for. They were thinking, okay, we need a big Assassin's Creed game for the launch of the next-gen consoles so we can make more profit before we go into the big price hike for the future titles. That's what they really wanted in the long run. It just doesn't scream next-gen. It screams old-gen or last-gen.
What are your thoughts about the game 6 Layer so far? Have you seen any of the new gameplay showing off from some of the YouTubers yet?
Well, yeah, I've seen the footage, but to be honest, I've never played an Assassin's Creed game before ever. They never truly interested me. I own a couple on PC. I bought a mic. It came with one. You go and you play it. They send you the games free. Xbox Live phone free. PlayStation free. So I have numerous games in the series, all free. Never played any of them. I have no general interest. They've been successful games, even when people say early on the game, it doesn't look too good, and then all of a sudden it sells more than the last year's version. So I really don't know. I really don't care. This is one of those games, Microsoft does have the marketing deal with, and it's 4K 60 when folks were thinking 4K 30, and the guys ahead of me, were clear, were adamant to make it clear that it's not a console on your fanboy thing. Excuse me about the phone in the background there. When they say that they have negative things to say on the game, it's not there. But some people are still gonna think that they're saying that, but. Every year I hear negative things about the new Assassin's Creed game just before it comes out. Then every year it does great numbers. Young, yeah, like he from time to time will be like one of the first ones to jump on the hill and scream, "This game sucks!" And then he'll rally folks around him. And sometimes he's right, and sometimes he's wrong, but he never changes his opinion unless it's real drastic. And then he'll just make a whole video about why he's changing his opinion. So, the game's gonna succeed whether any of us like it or not, unless something drastically messed up happens where it crashes every system and overheats them, or some crazy bug or whatever. It's not gonna matter.
My issue is with Ubisoft is they kind of tend to overpromise on things.
Like under-deliver,
yep.
Definitely.
And a lot of their games tend I think ever since Unity.
Assassin's Creed 3 in a nutshell. Remember the canoe?
Yeah.
Dude, I will also mention for Assassin's Creed 3, that is the best-selling Assassin's Creed game to date. That no game has succeeded that in terms of sales.
Wait, what was the best about it?
Assassin's Creed 3
What about
sold
it?
the most out of the
Oh
whole
yeah,
franchise.
that was like the last. Yeah, that's true. That was like the last. Because that was, tell you the truth though, to be fair, that came out at like the height.
Sold the most?
Yeah, it sold the most. Yeah.
The third one, wow, okay.
Because it was it came out during like the insane hype of the game. Like this is straight off of Ezio, and everybody was so into Assassin's Creed, and everybody was looking forward to that type of hero. And then a lot of people were disappointed with it, and then it's never.
They butchered. They listened. There's some things when you should listen to the fans, and there's some things you should. And
Facts.
some fans were begging for Desmond to be killed off, and I wasn't one of them. I was like, "What the? Why you guys want to go with this and that?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna ruin the whole main narrative." And then they did, and I was like,
Yeah, they
guys,
killed him
don't
off.
kill them.
I was
Now
surprised
we have
that
Yeah,
they killed
even
him
I
off.
heard about that. Even I heard about that. And like I said, I've never played any game in the series, and then I heard that they killed the guy who was basically jacking into the what do they call that machine? The Animus. Yeah, the Animus. This was the guy they killed. Like what? And wait, that the fans asked for it, like a Jason Todd type situation. Like really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the whole thing was it was his ancestors, it was his bloodline, and they were all descendants of his bloodline, and you were
Right,
getting
right.
pieces of the future. Like you were trying to get the key to save mankind in the future. That was the whole premise of it. Now that he's gone, they're telling it through different people and different storylines, and it just doesn't make sense. There's no true purpose to
it
it,
wasn't
and
just
it's like they're
the
going
thing
around in
is-
circles.
The thing is with
Nothing
the thing
ends.
is with the Assassin's Creed, it wasn't just Desmond. There were of course other assassins too.
Mhm.
It was just that his
True,
was
but
more.
he was the main
Yeah.
protagonist. Like it
Yeah.
was his main
Yeah,
story,
the whole
his
point was
bloodline.
that he was going to be the ultimate assassin, and
Yeah.
this is where I was getting a little hope was with Syndicate, where if you did
Yep.
like a bunch of the secret things,
Yep.
you
If you
find
beat the
an
game.
audio recording of them saying this guy has all the freaking ancestors that Desmond had, and he's a
Yep.
kid, and then it was like, oh shoot, this is Desmond's son, and
you
then
see that trailer,
Yeah.
that cutscene plays where it's like they're at a tomb and it looks like it's Desmond's Altair. It looks like an Altair type of tomb, kind of like reference to Desmond type of thing. It's like they're really telling that.
And then Juno was going to be this main villain, and guess what happened?
They killed her off in a comic book.
Themselves in the yes, a freaking comic book. You find out freaking Desmond's son is a sage, and
I
that
hate when they do stuff like that. Like they kill
Yeah.
like the main character from some previous in like a comic or something. Like the same thing happened to Nomad from Crisis 1. They killed him off in a comic book, and then all of a sudden he's not there anymore. Why? He's already dead. But they never mentioned this in game.
They also did that with
Yeah.
they also did that with the boss in Halo too. I believe right at the end of Halo 5, the boss that you were fighting didn't end up dying in the game. He ended up dying in the comic books.
It's like Ubisoft had a goal. Like they have some bright ideas, and then they're like, you know what? We know we're hyping up Juno, but yeah, we're killing her off in a comic with Desmond's son and another assassin. And I was
Yeah.
like, this makes bro. You could have done this in the game. Like now we have this other Assassin's Creed lead that no one cares about. Like no one like.
What
It
happened
just
to
makes
the
no
chick
sense.
though? What happened to the
No,
chick
she-
from Odyssey?
she's-
Is she
Yeah,
still?
I think-
She's still the
Yeah.
character, right? The chick that was in the
Yeah.
desert. She's still it, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, you have her. She doesn't really have much to her story, because you don't really see nothing really happen. You know what I'm saying? You don't see nothing with her. It's mostly you just jump in and out her story, and you go right back in. It's not even a story. You're just doing these small, tiny little tasks. That's it. It's not a story for her. Whereas Desmond, it was a full blown story. Like, what was the dude named Vidic? Was it Warren Vidic?
Warren Vidic.
Yeah.
Like Warren Vidic was a cool sub boss for the story in the long run because you find out more stuff about it as you progress. Like I remember when he killed Lucy in Assassin's Creed 2. At the end of Assassin's Creed 2, remember he killed her? You thought that she was being killed for no reason, but you find out the reason why she died is because she was going to stab Desmond when he touched the apple.
She was gonna take the apple and stuff like that. But what the thing was, like, what was interesting about 3 was he says, like, it further explores that she was gonna take the apple and nothing was gonna happen, like, and straight up for the Abstergo that they were gonna plug in the apple and then nothing happened. He still just killed her, which haunted him and stuff like that. And it's
Thank
like they
God
could
I watch
explore
a
so
lot of
much stuff.
YouTube. Otherwise, I'd be really confused.
I'm about to say
videos that sit there and
bro.
explain the plot, and that's the only reason I could follow.
I was about to say maybe we should go back to the main topic because you haven't played the games, but going back to the main topic, it's not just with Assassin's Creed where they kind of under-delivered on stuff. It's like also with it happened with Rainbow Six Siege at launch where they first showed off like a nice trailer at E3. They didn't look anything close to it. Same thing with the first Watch Dogs game.
Oh, yo, he definitely hoodwinked me with that game. Oh shit.
Oh boy.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that's old pain right there. Old pain, man. God damn you, Cali Rex. Why you bring this old pain up again?
Again, it's like, okay. For me, it's just like this new Assassin's Creed games ever since Origins has kind of pained me as a true fan. So hearing that doesn't even look good either just kind of gives me flashbacks to those games, like with with those texture issues that Red had mentioned before. It's like it's just like I know Ubisoft style, like they will have either like games that don't look that great but will play fun, or they just over deliver on promises.
Yeah, it's like for me, Ubisoft is good in the 360 and PS3 generation, and they haven't been good since.
Yeah.
But I like that.
Also, isn't there a thing going on with Watch Dogs Legions where ray tracing is going to be on the console versions at launch? Or
Yeah, pretty much, yes.
isn't that supposed to? Well, actually, that's releasing this at the end of October, right?
Yeah.
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 So even then, they don't have. It doesn't seem like they have like their stuff ready for like these new consoles, like to make them to make these games look good at least.
All I know is
Yeah.
Cyberpunk and this game too. All both have ray tracing. They're doing the Nvidia thing. So if you're on PC, day one, at least the PC will have ray tracing. The ray tracing capable consoles, the next gen consoles. I don't know if those consoles will.
It'll be
will out
next year. Next year, I would assume.
next year.
Patch.
Okay.
Although,
If
But
anything.
the thing is, one of the perks about it, like you said, ray tracing as well as DLSS. So you get a better looking image as well as having better FPS.
Hopefully
Well, what's
Nintendo takes on that technology in their next Switch, because that's tailor made for them, by the way.
well, yep. There's Switch Pro, as everyone has.
Yeah,
been...
they better have DLSS because that's tailor made for them.
They're honestly their games are very vibrant at times, and they can use a lot of more features for the consoles to make their console or their games look good. To be honest,
You know what needs DLSS? Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 1 Definitive Edition. They definitely need those stuff.
Textbook examples of exactly how
Right.
a great technology like that would just make a game on the Switch way better. Yep.
Red. Don't talk about Xenoblade Chronicles because I'm kind of mad that Nintendo has just been avoiding Chronicles X apart on the
yeah.
Switch. I want that game so bad.
Oh yeah, I don't know why. They've been porting all their other games.
Yeah. Also, wasn't there a thing going on with Watch Dogs Legions with the specs for the ray tracing that they were way higher on a PC for what you need?
Oh no, I think it's Valhalla.
Was it Valhalla?
It was Valhalla that. Yeah, straight up, you need a 2080 to do ultra settings at 4K 30 FPS.
Holy fuck. Okay, damn.
It's
you really need
it's not Ubisoft games, they're never well optimized for PC for whatever reason. So
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
I guarantee you, Cyberpunk will have better graphics and better textures, and more well optimized than
Oh
Valhalla.
no. CD Projekt Red take their time on their games. They make
Black Flag's more optimized than that.
Mhm.
yeah. Black Flag actually came out to be a better game when it launched on PS4 and the older consoles too.
Facts. And you actually saw the next gen leap. I think they were pushing what was it, the water and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Foliage as well.
And with Valhalla, you don't really get that feel. Like it just kind of looks the same as Origins. Or
Yeah,
Origins.
because we never saw
and
game.
Odyssey.
That's the thing. They never showed gameplay on both. That was the issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you've never seen it.
And-
So I agree though.
Yeah. Now, also one thing I also want to talk about with Valhalla was how certain people, well, the person I'm specifically talking about is an Xbox fan, was trying to say how the Norse mythology is better in Valhalla than compared to God of War, even though the game's not out yet.
Listen, they're comparing. Yeah, they were comparing screenshots. I saw the screenshot. I facepalmed. Basically, the screenshot they compared. See, I remember the World Serpent. Obviously, I played God of War, so you know the World Serpent in God of War. You know, he has the axe and the serpent talks, and Atreus can understand him. They compared that screenshot to another screenshot to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where it showed them looking at the World Serpent. Only it looked exactly the same, kind of like the design choice. If it looks like they're going for, but he had red eyes.
Yeah,
And I
my
was
thing. Yeah,
What is this?
my thing is, it's like it's probably hallucination. Like all this stuff is like going to be based on hallucinations as well as the ancient people and stuff like that. Which
What if they throw a curveball though? What if Thor's in here? What do you
Oh,
think?
man.
God.
I very much. I mean, I think there'll be a version of Thor, but he'll be like one of the like ancient people and stuff like that. Pre-civilization.
A Templar. Watch. They'll say Thor was a Templar.
I think I can speak for everyone when I say that. I don't think that Valhalla's gonna live up to something like God of War. Ubisoft has never been on that
Nah.
level of making those kind of good quality games.
They haven't since
it was
two.
just one
Especially a
about
game that's
Baldur.
made yearly. Like, really? Come on.
Yeah,
like-
like they can say they want about Baldur, but the fights with Baldur have more impact than anything Assassin's Creed can make. That's
Yeah.
I'm saying right now.
And especially like in terms of writing too, like even with Assassin's Creed and all the other games like Far Cry or the Tom Clancy games like with Sam Fisher, they've never been like up to par like writing with like something on the terms of like Sony Santa Monica or any of other Sony studios. I just think that the Valhalla was just probably like an okay game, hopefully, but that's just wishful thinking for me. But again,
It'll make its money no matter what happens.
yeah.
It has the more casual fan base now than the hardcore fan base that was back in Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations 3, and Black Flag and Syndicate and all that stuff. That fan base is kind of gone now. They have a new fan base that wants these light RPG elements
Sadly,
to their games. So.
very sadly. What if I feel like if I keep talking about Valhalla, I'm just gonna be more disappointed. I'm just done with it. But
Same.
hopefully, I'm just hoping that maybe like Ubisoft can like improve in the future. Do you guys think that their games like will be able to fully utilize these new consoles?
In terms of creativity, no.
Well, not creativity in terms of like
Because
just
the
like
creativity is
It's just-
that has nothing to do with the hardware, but the hardware is more akin to the PCs we have now, even more so. At least the CPU is more up to date. That won't be a bottleneck. We got GPUs that could do more modern things. The Xbox with the ray tracing hardware and all that other stuff too. It'll be easier. But at the same time, that could allow the lazy ones to be more lazy. So expect that out of Ubisoft. Ubisoft really needs to do what EA did last generation when it came to Frostbite and them working on that engine. Ubisoft has multiple engines. They better have their engineering, division, working hard to get their tech up to date. Otherwise, it's not going to matter if they have a good game if it performs like crap because they didn't do the work that they need to. And that's work that should have started last year, the year before. And I wouldn't be surprised that Ubisoft hasn't put that work in.
yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, they definitely haven't with a lot of their games either. Like a lot of the games have bad performance issues.
Which is funny because they have so many studios working on these games.
Yeah, they could definitely benefit if they have like their studios support each other. Much like kind of like Sony or EA have their own support studios.
I just find it crazy because they say they have like 18 studios or 12 studios working on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and that's the end result.
When you speak of it like that, it kind of reminds me of the whole Fallout 76 situation where Todd Howard was saying that there were so many studios working on Fallout 76, and then it comes out to be trash.
Listen, don't ever bring up Todd Howard to me because, like, listen, that's like one of the reasons why I very much stay away from Bethesda game studios as a whole. That's why I'm not excited for those Todd Howard games. But when it comes to Doom and stuff just Doom, I'm very much excited for.
Yeah. Now we pretty much covered all the topics, but there was one thing I forgot to add that I forgot recently popped up. It had to do with David Cage talking about how he thinks about the Xbox One S. And I just kind of want to get your thoughts about his opinion, if you think that other developers share the same opinion. But he thinks that the Series S will really hold back the newer consoles with the PS5 and the Series X because of how under-spec it is compared to those.
Hmm.
What are your guys' thoughts about his feeling? Do you think other developers share that same feeling about it?
I mean, id Software dev said that they were worried about that, and now they're being purchased by Microsoft. So I very much I think that his opinion is going to be changing soon. I've always been stating this for a while now. I've said consoles hold back PC, as well as low-end cards also hold back games as well, and low-end CPUs and all that stuff. It's just you have to like work for lowest common denominator, and in terms of physics and stuff like that, think about like freaking Horizon Zero Dawn, for instance, Guerrilla Games dev was saying that they wanted to do the flying, um, like mounting with the flying dinosaur, right? And they couldn't do that because the PS4 is very limiting hardware. So, now PS5, granted, now they're being held back by the PS4 with the New Horizon. So let's see if that changes. But I very much in the belief that lower end spec hardware do hold back.
I'm with
that's
you.
just-
I'm with you, especially when it comes to PC, because when games are downgraded for consoles, they don't really utilize their full potential, like with terms of good graphics or like effects for games. Like, I think like an example would be like maybe like Batman Arkham City or Arkham Knight. That was like when they got PC port, it was bad, and it didn't really run well either. Although,
I disagree.
Huh?
Well, I disagree, but Batman was a really bad example. That's just an example of a bad port. Because we've seen, like Grand Theft Auto 4 on PC was a notoriously bad port. You could throw hardware at it and it didn't really perform any better. And so people had a lot of fear for Grand Theft Auto 5, but that game didn't have any of those issues. You know
what's funny about Grand Theft Auto 5? You're getting that repackaged again this time around.
Once again, that's 3 consoles.
Yeah, it's gonna be the
wow.
It's gonna be the ultra settings.
Yeah, here's the funny thing about it too, though. Your stats don't carry over.
Of course.
Yeah, your character's not carrying over.
No, I think the online characters carry over because you're practically using the same account.
Right, the online does, but not the single player progression. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Although that's more of an issue. Like I heard it was going on with Sony, with like some developers choosing to carry over like data, like with terms of like.
Yeah, it's up to the devs, and just like I said, Yakuza is one of the
devs
ones
have to put in the work to make it happen.
Yeah.
Because like the thing for Yakuza, right? Like to talk about that one is Xbox is having their save as well as the next gen patch because they're having the marketing rights as well as the timed next gen version, and it's not coming to PlayStation until March or something like that. So, or for PS5.
I find you bring up Yakuza. Isn't the Like a Dragon game? Isn't that like lower resolution on the Series S?
For performance mode, yeah.
Yeah, but then once again, that's a game that we could tell. I mean, look at the performance it has in general, even on PC. Well, with the crazy hardware we have on PC now, we could muscle through it. But that just goes to show you need high-end hardware to muscle through a game that shouldn't have to, be muscled through. It's just really bad example.
I think that I think that kind of goes back to David Cage's point with how he thinks that the Series S is going to hold back the hardware because of how low spec it is.
That's a bad example, I feel.
Yeah.
Because this is what I want to say. I didn't get to comment on this original point, and I feel like this game is a bad example because it's a horribly performing game off bat, like just by default, right? So when you look at what Microsoft did with the Xbox One X, what they specifically said multiple times over was they tested out all their games on their platform and came to a conclusion about how much performance they needed in a box to get those games to run at 4K and whatever base frame rate that they already had. And that's what the One X specs came from. And the One S and the Series S and the Series X are the same way, where the CPU is basically the same. Well, I think like only 100 megahertz slower. It's the GPU that's slower, but the difference is the resolution. It's been finally balanced. I don't think this Yakuza game is a really good example because it performs so poorly anyway. Of course, the weakest system is going to have the weakest performance. I don't really think this is a problem. This is something that Microsoft, they balance out the performance of these two systems, that this other system will be able to play these games at 1440p or 1080p in most cases, and then you have a really bad game like this that'll just be 900p, but that's not really going to be... That's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. And a lot of developers do take their time to make their games run good. And to be honest, Sega has never been one to make a really great optimized game. And
it's funny too when you look at Yakuza because of all the games. I don't know, Yakuza and great fantastic performance were never synonymous. but never poor performance where you have to muscle through it with a 3080. And the game doesn't look that much better than the ones before for it to require all this. I don't just bad port, or just, well, not even port, because on all platforms it eats up horse eats up horsepower. But wow.
Like, you got to also factor in, though, for PC, though, that it has Denuvo. Denuvo takes out performance and stuff like that, so that's
definitely.
also...
Wow, I forgot that game even had that. Well,
yeah,
geez,
it has
it's a game I
Denuvo
would
in
be
it,
buying.
so...
It's a game I will be buying for a long time.
For me, though, like, I can tell you my experience with Causmic too, because I have it. I have a 2080 Ti, so there's that with a 3800X Ryzen and 32 gigs of RAM and 3200 megahertz, right? So I get, like, on ultra settings, right, 4K 40 to 50 frames, and then 1440p above 100 frames and stuff like that. And it still is a beautiful game and stuff like that. Granted, not a big city or anything like that. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily a bad port. I think it's like, because of Denuvo, I very much feel like I can get way more performance out of it as well. And it's just, is, I guess, more intrinsically with the engine and stuff like that. But I very much feel like if you're making a game, and let's say freaking Cyberpunk or the next Cyberpunk, and if it was strictly, let's say, on a 3090 and stuff like that, pushing that computer to the limit, like, it definitely would be held back if they were to say, well, we need the baseline of a 2060 or 2060, for instance. Whereas they could have had more physics and do all this other stuff and adding more NPCs and all that, rather than having also to incorporate the 2060.
Yeah,
that's how I've always felt.
Yeah, and you're not wrong. I mean, that's just how you feel about it. But
yeah,
I see Big Cloud being just silent, not talking about this topic. So I'm just gonna end it off with you on the subject, and then I'll get you guys doing your outros. So Ryan, what do you think? What do you think about what David Cage said about how he feels about the Series S?
You might have stepped out.
What did you say? My bad. What'd you say?
I want to get your thoughts about about what David Cage said about the Series S, about how he feels like it's gonna hold back the newer consoles.
I mean, like, you think about it, you look away, Microsoft's doing it. They pretty much confirmed they're not going to be supporting that shit long term. Like, you look at their later titles, like Hellblade 2, Avowed, and stuff like that. What does this has listed on it? It just says Series X. It doesn't say Series S now, does it?
Does it? I don't
No,
actually
it doesn't
know
say
that.
Series S. It says Series X strictly. So I actually kind of do agree with that. All it is an entry level console. That's all it is. It's an entry level console to get you into their ecosystem. A little cheaper, you get to their some of their perks, but you're not going to get the full, next gen experience, basically. So I see it as that. I don't see it really doing much for them either. But also, I always thought there was going to be a strategic play for them, because remember, it was cheaper. It's cheaper than PS5. You think that this was going to be the system they were going to have the most stock for. And as you guys clearly can see, the digital versions of both these consoles, PS5 and Series X, they're the least bit stocked, are they not? They're only selling you the higher premium one. So it's like, yeah, I see that being the case, honestly. Same thing.
I think other developers will complain about the Series S like David Cage has, and maybe just like not develop for the Series S. Or you think that do you think that it wouldn't really matter, that because David Cage hasn't really developed anything for Xbox. His games have mostly been for PlayStation.
Well, they're going more multi-platform, correct?
Yeah, well, that's their plan, but we haven't heard anything from them in a while.
I can
It
see
depends on their mandate.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. They're like, I can see a lot of people not developing for it and not taking it serious, because again, it's always going to come down to Microsoft and how they like push that system. You know what I'm saying? If they don't push it like it's a must-have, then they're not going to do it.
Well,
Yeah.
but hang on a second. The fact that Hellblade isn't coming to Series S because you didn't see it listed. Like, if you really think Hellblade isn't coming to Series S, I have a bridge to sell you. Like, it's definitely coming. Listen, all games for the Xbox Series X or coming to the Series S. The only difference is the lower resolution. They've made this clear a number of times. I don't even understand how this point could even be made, because that's not what the plan is. This is not like developers have to choose if they want to support the system or not. It's a mandatory thing. It's not optional.
Okay.
So
I've never
is
seen-
that a mandate for like third party, or is that just first party?
No, that's first party. He's saying.
I think it's
I'm not saying. I'm saying for the system in general. If you make a game like it's like
third
the
parties
Xbox
are
One now.
not mandated to make no gains for that S. They're not mandated to make no.
I don't. Wow. I don't even know how you could even.
Third
begin to
parties.
believe that.
You're saying third party devs are mandated to make games.
If you're making a game on this, if you're making a game on the Xbox Series platform, the next gen Xbox. If you make one for the X, you have to make it for the S. It's not like you're choosing to make for one or the other.
I don't know
It's
about
the
that.
one game. That's what they have smart delivery.
You might have had a point if you said first party.
No.
Well, Microsoft does
You
want.
might have had a point.
Microsoft does want developers to support their platform, so it would make sense that they would want third parties to support it too, since they would be developing for the Series X.
Yeah.
So, do you think that would push some devs away though, and be like, "Listen, we want to push the hardware"?
I think it would maybe be the independent devs, because the third party publishers probably wouldn't care.
We would have heard about this by now. I would.
Yeah.
But my thing is, like, let's say CD Projekt Red, for instance, and they're becoming big, right? And let's say Witcher 4, for instance, they want to push these systems to the max and not have to worry about the Series S. Do you think Microsoft would give them an exception and be like, you know what?
It's not an exception thing, because it's like, okay, you have CD Projekt Red, and they're coming out with Cyberpunk, right? The game is going to run at 4K 30, I was told, I believe, right, on consoles. So you've got that, but on the Series S, it just runs at, say, 1440p 30. It's just a downscale of resolution. It's like when on the PC, you guys are on PC now. You have different tiers of cards that are intended for different resolutions. When the games come out with their recommended specs, they tell you, if you want to play at 4K, blah, 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 you better have this baller card right here. But if you're just playing 1080p or 1440p, you can go with the 60 series or 70 series. It's the same thing there. It's a balance that they've already made to the difference in performance of the two consoles, that you have game A that runs at 4K on the Series X. You can expect it to run at 1080p at that same level of performance on the Series S. This is not a thing we have an option to do one for the other. It's just you balance those two performance metrics and you're fine.
Yeah, but like throughout the podcast, I've been stating that I personally from what I heard from some devs are saying, id Software, for instance, saying that they're being held back by like the Series S, right?
One guy from id,
I know, but there were also Call of Duty. I know, but there were also a Call of Duty dev and stuff like that. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I'm trying to get the whole story. There's some people saying this case, and there's another person saying this case. And I also been in the affirmation of, even when I first got a PC, I was like, these lower end GPUs are a baseline as well for what they need to develop for, and then they can go onwards to pushing and stuff like that. But there is a baseline. They can't just be like saying, like, let's say if Witcher 4 wanted to just strictly make a game for the 3090 and stuff like that, it would be very much difficult to bring that over to the lower end GPUs if they're trying to push the 3090 to the limits.
I think devs are just gonna be entitled to their opinion, to be honest. Like, there are some devs that are probably gonna not like the Series S for how low spec it's gonna be, so they probably don't want to develop it.
Full bells and whistles. They don't want no gimped hardware.
But there will also be developers who really don't care. Of course,
and I agree with that too.
And I think that's where we're gonna end off this conversation. So with that, I'm gonna get you guys doing your outros. So let everyone know where you guys are, where everyone can find you. So I'm gonna start with you, Six Layer. Where can everyone find you? And go ahead and leave a link in the chat, or whatever you want. So
you can find me on Twitter and everywhere great games are played. Pretty much any and every platform games are played, you'll find my name. On Twitter, you'll find me there, and then every Friday at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock Eastern. Every Friday on the GRG podcast, you can catch me there as well. and very soon on the 108 Dragons Den podcast. We'll have details on that coming real soon. Promise this time, we're finally getting everything together.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. Thanks for being on. And now for you, Red Hood. Go ahead and tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, of course. Do want to say thank you, Callie, for having me on the podcast, and thanks for everyone watching. Make sure to like, subscribe for Callie. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Reddit240. YouTube, I'm trying to make a comeback for that. You can follow me at Reddit420 as well as my Twitch. I'm going to try and stream 3 days a week on there, so you can follow me there. And make sure to follow everyone here. Very much enjoyed everyone's opinion and perspectives on the topics and stuff like that. Everyone made great points, and kind of like what a podcast should be. Not gonna call out other podcasts, but you gotta be respectful and stuff like that. Hear people's opinions, and yeah, that's what I like about podcasts going forward. So hopefully that can be continued on with other podcasts.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for being on here, man. It's definitely been a joy to have you on.
No problem, man.
Okay, Ryan, tell everyone they can find you. And
That sounded like a dig, Red Hood. I wonder who he was referring to.
Oh man.
Anyway, good show, Callie. Thanks for having me again. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hit that like button. Of course, you'll find me at Big Cloud Gaming, YouTube, and Twitch, Twitter. And also, you'll find me in our Discord where I'm stopping Red Hood from simping. It's my job there, 24/7.
This man.
I got
Coming out giving props to people here on this panel, and you got this man with big.
We're gonna talk. Don't worry, we're gonna cure him of his sins very soon. Don't worry, he will be back to a functioning
Have you guys
order.
seen a regular show before?
yes,
Yes.
that's it.
Don't worry, Red Hood, we'll fix you. We're gonna get you right.
All
We're gonna
right.
get you.
All right. That's enough of the simp jokes. But again,
You're the biggest simp anyway.
you're a big simp, man.
How am I a simp? You be simping for damn? I ain't gonna say it. Just go ahead.
You be simping, man.
You be simping for dinosaurs.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Why'd they have to go? It's too soon.
All right. With that, guys, I'd like to conclude. Thank you guys for watching episode 8 of Extinction Level Gaming, episode 8. God damn it, my brain's fried. But thank you for watching episode 7. Tune in for episode 8 whenever that comes out, because I'm still hoping to change my dates, maybe to Saturday, but I'm still trying to look for open slots because everyone does podcasts on every single day. So yeah, it's just again stay looking.
That's fired. I don't like that.
Okay, fine. You don't like it? Shut up. But with that, guys, hope you guys enjoy your day, and peace.